Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin. We've got the CoinsKid crew. So just here for Bitcoin, look at this, running into this neckline. Look at that for confluence at the moment. So you ran into that, and that's a level of resistance that was anticipating for Bitcoin, and eventually we've got there. I actually was, to be honest with you, I thought we were creating this beautiful rounded bottom, and I think at this point I was anticipating getting it up that point, way back there last year, and we didn't get that, and we've got this sort of big FTX push, and we dropped there for Bitcoin. But at the minute, I think one of the most bullish things Bitcoin can do is taking out this resistance, and we are literally on the cusp of it right now. We are running to it with resistance just there, getting a little bit of a rejection at the moment. One thing I think that will be really, really bearish for Bitcoin, to be honest with you, is the double top drop scenario. So right now, if we start to see some kind of descending triangle here on the EMAs, a lower high, and then we start to come down below these EMAs and start to see multiple closes like we did here, losing the 55, okay, losing the 55 down here, then I think you could begin to say, okay, we're putting in the warning shots here of a potential another impulsive move to the downside, and what we have got is a clear continuation here of this downtrend for Bitcoin. So I think an invalidation point for Bitcoin right now, the double top drop scenario where it puts in the descending triangle and drops, and then you're going to see the whole market drop, is breaking this resistance, okay, and just taking off here for Bitcoin. Now, one thing we have done for Bitcoin is 2 weeks closing above the weekly 20 EMAs. So that's technically nice. We want to see that consistent closing above those EMAs, especially a 20. I think a really bearish statement for Bitcoin right here would be a weekly close below 19,892. If you start to see Bitcoin coming down from this point, losing the 20 EMA, I think you're increasing the probability of another impulsive move to the downside. So as a bearish outlook today, as a bearish scenario, if we fail to break this resistance right here, you can see we're toying with it. On the daily, we've got a level of resistance on this neckline. If we start to create some kind of descending triangle here, this is some kind of top, we do something like this, we sort of flat line out here, and then we drop again and lose EMAs and do something like that. I think you've got an impulsive move to the downside, okay? So where would that impulsive move go to? I can show you. There's a minimal target for Bitcoin. If we have ran into resistance, and this is simply some kind of dead cat bounce or retracement into this resistance before continuation, then where could we possibly go to? So let's say, for example, we are bearish, this is some kind of retracement, dead cat bounce. The bottom's not necessarily in. I know people are jumping up and down telling you the bottom's in, but I'm not seeing any confirmation of it just yet. This is a great rally, off the bottom, the potential bottom. It is great, it's fantastic, but we're not getting any confirmation of the bottom until we start to take out key resistance points. One of those key resistance points is this high just there, around about 25k. Equally, I think that it's the 55 EMA on the weekly time frame. I think closes above that. Sorry, I do apologise. Closes above that level of resistance, 25 EMA, which is roughly the 55 EMA. Sorry, on the weekly. I think could begin to really, really put a strong foundation and a confirmation statement in of the bottom. But one thing I'm looking for primarily going forward is just not losing that weekly 20 EMA as support, okay? Lose that, just like you did here, boom, see you later. You begin to lose that, I think you're putting a confirmation of an impulsive move to the downside, to be honest with you. So again, you could just be patient and wait for this scenario to play out, because there is a chance right now we could put some kind of double top drop in like we did here, okay? Double top drop. Double top drop. If we start to see that, the closing below the EMAs, losing these EMAs on the daily, especially the 55, which is roughly $18,716, I think we've got an absolute case for another impulsive move to the downside. So where could that potential impulsive move go to the downside if this is the top of some kind of rally into the neckline of resistance? So that's your low, that's your high. You will be looking at a minimum 1.272, sorry, around about $13,874, which, in my opinion, if I drop a horizontal line in just there, it's just a retest of that 2019 high on the wick. Look at that, amazing. And if we do start to fall through that as support, we don't necessarily put this impulsive move and break. If we do start to do something like that, then I think that you could be looking at a push through and a potential wick off the 1618 around about $12,045. Now I know that's a lot of people's target as well, so it could line up with that. Who knows? But to invalidate that particular bearish scenario right now, we don't want to see the double top drop. Okay, if we see the double top drop, that's your minimal target, 1272. But if we start to break here, consolidate, and then we go again, taking out this white line, we have to really pay attention to that scenario, because that's a very, very bullish statement from Bitcoin if it begins to do that and potentially run to this 25k high, consolidate again, get through the 55 EMA, consolidate again, and we really are, we're bottomed at that point, in my opinion, from this low just there. But I've got to show you what I see, and potentially we're calling up right now. If we get a double top drop boom, that's your minimal target, you know. And this is technical analysis. I've not got a crystal ball. I can't 100% guarantee what Bitcoin's going to do, but it's a possibility. Okay, so until we break these resistance points that I'm showing you in the charts, this white trend line starting to get back above 25k and the 55 EMA on the weekly, this double top drop scenario exists. So again, if you start to see Bitcoin closing below the weekly 20 EMA, I think you're really increasing the probability of another impulsive move to the downside here for Bitcoin, okay? Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Bye-bye.